Hi everybody, it's Lisa here. So in today's video, I want to talk about recovering from an eating disorder in a larger body because recently I was scrolling through some of my older YouTube videos. As I was reading some of the comments, one particular comment caught my eye and I think it was like a very good subject and something many people don't address. And the comment went something like this: why people don't talk about recovering in a larger body? I think this subject is often overlooked and not addressed. But firstly, I want to acknowledge something. For me, it is a little bit conflicting to talk about it because I feel that people would say, Elisa, what do you know about it? Because you have a normal body, you have no idea what people have to go through recovering in larger bodies. And yes, I don't have the lived experience and I don't want this video to sound like, oh, like this is so easy, or I know everything you have gone through or you are experiencing in recovery. But this is just a video from me as an eating disorder recovery coach, because I do help people in all kinds of shapes and sizes. Recovery is not just for people who are thin. So this is just my perspective as a coach, helping people in all kinds of different sizes and body types, and what I have seen, what works and what doesn't. So that's the perspective I'm coming from. So firstly, restriction harms all bodies, no matter the size. Biologically, restriction affects every body the same way. And being in a larger body doesn't mean that restriction is somehow like less harmful or somehow more acceptable, because people in larger bodies experience all the starvation symptoms as well. Things like food obsession, binge eating, digestive issues, their metabolism slow down, they may experience hair loss, hormonal imbalances, losing their periods, anxiety, depression, feeling exhausted. Your body still experiences metabolic damage, stress and energy deprivation, even if you're not underweight or haven't experienced any drastic weight loss. And a great example here is maybe people who have been diagnosed with atypical anorexia. And these are all the people who meet the clinical criteria for anorexia, like intense food restriction, fear of weight gain, body image issues, they have suppressed hunger, also starvation symptoms like losing their period, feeling cold all the time, hair loss, they have low energy, low heart rate, except they are not underweight and they can actually be in a higher weight category. So just because someone isn't thin, it doesn't mean that they're not starving or suffering the consequences of restriction. And to heal from all of this, people in larger bodies also need to apply all the recovery steps to get better. Eating to your full hunger, extreme hunger, mental hunger, focusing on resting more and stopping all the exercising, rewiring your thoughts and behaviors. Recovery isn't just for people who are underweight. It's for everybody who is stuck in the disordered eating, no matter your body size. And next, let's talk about gaining weight and overshooting in recovery, because this is another big fear that comes up, especially for people who are already in a larger body when they start their recoveries. People may fear that, but if I'm already in a larger body, why would I need to gain more weight in recovery? How is that healthy, or how is that helpful? How is that normal? And yes, it may seem confusing, but let me explain. If you have been dieting, restricting, over-exercising, suppressing your hunger, your body has still slowed down metabolism and switched to the survival mode. Your body is in stress, and recovery means giving yourself unconditional permission to eat to your full hunger and to stop all restriction and compensating behaviors and resting more so your body can heal and recover. So if you were restricting and therefore suppressing your weight, and now you start to eat unrestrictedly and rest more, then no matter your body size, if you have a larger body, you can still gain weight just because you come from restriction and weight suppression. Like we talked about in the last point, restriction affects your body the same way, no matter your body size. And overshooting is not a failure. It's just a sign that your body is healing. It's one of the normal phases people go through in recovery. And this phase is not just reserved to people who are underweight or thin. Overshooting is your body's way to compensate for restriction and to restore the balance, and to have this safety net of energy available to restore everything it needs. That's your body just being smart about it. After your body has been through restriction, it's logical to gain more weight. But over time, if this is truly not your body's set point weight, then over time, as you continue eating enough, resting, de-stressing, doing the rewiring work, then over time the body will balance out this weight on its own without you having to focus on it. But then people also have questions like, but isn't it unhealthy to gain more weight if I'm already overweight? And this is a very common concern. And again, this is very understandable because we have all been taught that all weight gain equals bad and unhealthy. But here's the thing, having an eating disorder and living in this chronic stress is not healthier for you, no matter your body shape or size. Even in a larger body, having an eating disorder is not better. It's not gonna make you any healthier. And even if you would lose weight from a larger body into thinner body, as long as you have an eating disorder along with it, you're not gonna be better or healthier. And it's gonna backfire. How long can you sustain it? How long can your body take it? How long can you be in this mental space and sustain it? It's just gonna lead you in a dead end. It's not healthier, it's not better. But recovery, even if it involves more weight gain, even if you're already in a larger body, can help with restoring your hunger and fullness cues, overcome food obsession and intense cravings. You can have a normal healthy metabolism. You can restore your hormones and reproductive functions like getting your period back. You can have more mental clarity and mood stability, better sleep and digestion, healthier immune system. And also, as you work on the rewiring, you can also have a better mental health and body image. So recovery can actually make you healthier over time, despite the weight gain. And I know in recovery, people go through things like extreme hunger or extreme cravings for only sweets or junk foods. They also feel that as they're not exercising and constantly resting, they feel lazy or unproductive. But also, I want to remind you that just because this is how it is right now in recovery, where yes, your body needs more food, more rest, then this is not how it's gonna be for the rest of your life. Because after recovery, things like gentle nutrition and also joyful body movement is still available for you. And those are the health behaviors you can incorporate, but just without the focus on weight or weight loss, but from a place of self-care. And also, our health is so much more than just the food we eat and how much we exercise. Because things like chronic stress, poor sleep, poor mental health, toxic relationships, work burnout, and financial issues, all of these things also impact your health more than you realize. And these are called the social determinants of health, because people have this skewed idea that as long as you eat clean and you exercise and maintain a thin body, that you are healthy. But this is not true. There's so many things that contribute to your health. And all of those things I just mentioned about the clean eating and exercising and being thin, those things can coexist also with an eating disorder, right? So it's way more important to look at the bigger picture of things and seeing things more holistically. There's so many things contributing to your health other than eating clean, exercising, and being thin. But still, people may wonder about, but what about diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol, and joint pain? Aren't these things linked to being overweight? Firstly, let's talk about insulin resistance and pre-diabetes. Firstly, it's important to realize that it's not just the weight gain alone that causes insulin resistance. In fact, things like chronic stress, undereating, and the binge and restrict cycles can have a huge effect on your blood sugar levels. Your body can become insulin resistant if it's not nourished consistently. That includes skipping meals, undereating, or yo-yoing between extreme control and then binging. In the long term, recovery actually helps to stabilize your blood sugar by giving your body the consistent fuel and stopping the restriction that causes chronic stress to your body. Because when you are eating enough regularly and not living in this survival mode anymore, your metabolism and insulin begin to regulate regardless of your weight. And next, let's talk about cholesterol. Cholesterol can temporarily raise during refeeding phase, and that is very normal, and it doesn't mean you're damaging your health, and that is your body adjusting as it's coming out of the starvation. And over time, as you're consistently eating enough and resting more and de-stressing, cholesterol levels typically improve and normalize, and restriction can actually raise the cholesterol levels because of the stress hormones and the inflammation it creates. So again, weight gain alone isn't the full picture. And let's also talk about the blood pressure increase. High blood pressure is often blamed on weight, but malnutrition and the chronic stress it creates can raise blood pressure as well. Eating regularly, getting enough rest, and reducing stress helps to regulate your nervous system and to support your cardiovascular system over time. So restriction can contribute to the blood pressure increase because of the stress response it creates in the body. And the weight gain alone isn't the sole cause of the blood pressure increase, because people can have high blood pressure even in thin bodies. And let's also talk about the joint pain and mobility. Yes, higher weight can add pressure to your joints, but this is not the whole story. Restriction itself can lead to things like muscle loss, weakened joints and connective tissue, low bone density, things like osteopenia or osteoporosis. So the real problem might not be your weight. It might be that your body hasn't had enough fuel to build strength and support your joints properly. And chronic undereating and overexercising leads to bone loss and muscle weakness, which can increase joint pain and injury risk as well. And some of the soreness you feel in recovery can be actually a normal part of it. People can have aches and pains in recovery, and even adjusting to your healthy weight or the higher weight will take some time for your body to adjust to and get used to. And after recovery, when your body is no longer in stress and you're also mentally free from the disorder, you can start to incorporate some joyful movement in order to build up your stamina and strength and take care of your body and health this way without focusing on weight loss or weight control. And research has shown that focusing on health behaviors and not weight loss can lead to significant improvements in things like blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar level, joint pain and mobility, and overall well-being, even when your weight doesn't change. And this approach is supported by the Health in Every Size study, which shows that people who focused on consistent, balanced behaviors saw better long-term health outcomes than those who focused on weight loss alone. And if you want to learn more about the Health at Every Size, I have a whole other video and I will link it below. And next, way beyond the health fears, many people also have a lot of negative fears about being in a larger body. Many people would say, yes, this is all great, but I still hate my body and I will face more judgment now as I live in this larger body. So what about this concern? And this is truly a hard place to be at. And this is because our whole world and the society is so obsessed with thinness. But here's the thing. Yes, people may judge you, but it's still not your job to fix it for them. If they judge you, it's their problem, not yours. And I get it. As humans, we deeply want to belong and feel like we are accepted by others. And if we feel that others are judging us, it may seem that there is something wrong with us. And it's very human to think this way. And honestly, if you wouldn't care at all what others think, you would probably be considered a sociopath or something. So worrying about what others think is part of the human nature. But the real work is in differentiating from what is truly helpful and meaningful feedback from others and what is unhelpful and is actually harmful. Because not everybody on this planet understands about weight gain or how dieting and losing weight is not healthy or helpful. It's rather a minority of people who truly get it. People have no idea about the diet brainwash or the eating disorders or what it takes to recover or how weight gain in this context is actually very normal and healthy. Most people around you haven't been through eating disorder recovery and probably they don't even know your whole story. So they have no idea what you have been through or what you need to do to get better. So always ask yourself, who is the person I'm taking advice from? Are they the experts in this subject? Do they know my whole story? Do they know what recovery takes? They can be good people, but still also be very ignorant about this subject. They can lack understanding about recovery or weight gain. This doesn't make them bad people, but also they're still people who you shouldn't take advice from. And at the end of the day, others' judgment often hurts us so much because it's met with the same judgment we already carry in ourselves, what we already believe about us. So the real work is not in changing other people's opinions, but actually looking deep into yourself and changing the relationship, the thoughts, the beliefs you have in yourself. And this is where the true healing begins. And lastly, I also want to talk about fat phobia, because a lot of the fear around recovering in a larger body doesn't come from health concerns, but it comes from fat phobia. Fat phobia is the cultural belief that being in a larger body is bad, it's shameful, it's lazy, it's unhealthy, unworthy. And this belief is everywhere, in media, in healthcare, in family dynamics, in online spaces, and even in some eating disorder recovery programs. So if you are terrified of gaining weight or staying in a larger body, this is not your fault. You have likely been conditioned to think that thin equals good and fat equals bad. But that is not the truth. That is just the cultural programming. Fat phobia is not a personal flaw, it's rather a social issue. And healing from it takes time, and it requires questioning those beliefs, challenging your internalized bias, curating your environment, choosing self-compassion over shame. Because recovery isn't just about food. It's more about freeing yourself from those oppressive beliefs that say that only thin people are worth of love, care, or health. And you don't need to change your body in order to deserve recovery. And you may actually need to change how you see your body and the way you respond to the world's messages about it. So this is it for today's video. And I know it's really hard, and it's harder definitely to recover from an eating disorder in a larger body because of the culture we live in, because of the judgment, the discrimination we face. But also there is no way to force your body to be thin and then expect full recovery either. Restriction biologically affects all bodies the same way, no matter the size. So all the recovery steps still apply to you. You should also listen to your hunger. Give yourself unconditioned permission to eat. You can also have extreme hunger, mental hunger. Your body definitely needs rest as well. But just that you need to do the mental work with your mindset and with the body image. Because it's not about how can I change my body to feel better, but it's more about how can I change my thoughts about my body, how I treat my body, how I treat myself. That can actually make you start to feel better long term. And please know, you are not alone, you are not broken, and recovery is not less valid or less necessary for you just because of your body size. And you deserve food freedom and full recovery just like anyone else. So thank you again for watching. I hope it was helpful. Please share any thoughts in the comments. And if you want to learn more about recovery, how to go through it step by step, you can definitely check out my book, Everything I Did to Fully Recover from My Eating Disorder. So the link will be in the description. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and also subscribe to my channel. Do not miss out on any future videos. And yeah, so I'm gonna see you next time. Bye!